Secrets unlocked. How does Mounjaro help you lose weight? Hi friends, I'm Elizabeth, Countess of Shopping, and in this video, we're gonna go through 7 tips and talk about how does Mounjaro help you lose weight. I have lost over 80 pounds in the last 14 months of taking Mounjaro. I will always continue to encourage you to talk to your own healthcare provider about the conversations we have, because this is simply my experience, strength, and hope of taking Mounjaro, and I'm not a medical professional. Let's go ahead and dive in from what the research shows us, and being scientifically accurate, but also from my personal experience with it. So I immediately skedoodled over to Eli Lilly's website. It has on there, it talks about Mounjaro works in multiple ways. Basically what happens, and these are the first 2 points of my 7 tips that we're going to talk about in today's video, are talking about when you first take Mounjaro, the body is actually releasing insulin when the blood sugar is high. Then the body removes excess sugar from the blood. Then it stops the liver from making and releasing too much sugar. Then we go over to our little picture over here. It reduces how much food is eaten. Mounjaro is not a weight loss drug. And so some people, this can really trip them up of like, oh my gosh, on Mounjaro, there's Mounjaro weight loss. Mounjaro is FDA approved for type 2 diabetes, but there is clinical trials that obviously that Eli Lilly has done talking about weight loss with it too as one of the byproducts. Now, Eli Lilly has had FDA approval for their other medication called Zepbound. That is FDA approved for chronic obesity management, chronic chronic obesity management and chronic weight management. Mounjaro is FDA approved for type 2 diabetes. Both are the same medications, just FDA approvals, and that is probably going to affect your insurance of what they're going to allow you to get, just being mindful of that. So going back over here, it says Eli Lilly tells us from the science-based part of it, it reduces how much food is eaten as a result of these, and then slow down to how quickly food leaves your stomach, which lessens over time. So that's on Eli Lilly's website. So tip number one of how does Mounjaro help you lose weight is by decreasing the food intake. When I first took my first injection of Mounjaro 2.5 milligrams, boom, I had within that first 24 hours for me, immediate appetite suppression. Now, I don't know if that was just mental, like a placebo effect of like, oh my gosh, I'm taking it. Like it was a whole thing. Like it literally 14 months ago, I was shaking when I was taking it and I did my first Mounjaro injection, but I for sure had a decrease in food intake. Now, having been on it for 14 plus months, I typically have a decrease in food intake for the first 24 to 48 hours. I will eat an OMAD diet, 1 meal a day. And so decreasing that food, like my portions used to be like this, now to like this. They're much more manageable and smaller, like kids portions. If I go out to eat, I'm like, oh, the kids portions, that will fill me up. Or I'll get the regular portion and then box it and have lunch the next day so I don't have to cook. Tip number 2 of how Mounjaro helps you lose weight is the gastric emptying component of this, friends. When you slow down how fast your food travels through your digestive tract, that is the gastric emptying component of Mounjaro and Zepbound. That helps you stay fuller longer, which is amazing. For me, when I took with the first week of Mounjaro, and everyone's different, you may not experience this, but this was my experience, strength and hope for the first week, was I had not known what full felt like. I couldn't remember when, for like decades. That first feeling in the first week in Mounjaro of being like, oh, well, bust my buttons. That is what full feels like, that feeling of fullness. And then being able to harness that in and not push past that feeling of fullness, right? Like not 100 pounds overweight, one does not come with having a disordered eating of food or an unhealthy relationship with food. And so working on that journey, in addition to the physical one of helping to heal that food relationship, for me has been really, really important along my Mounjaro journey. So tip number 3, so those are the science one. This is the tip in the meat and potatoes. See what I did there, relating it back to food. For how does Mounjaro help lose weight? For me, it was Mounjaro side effects. There's some serious ones, which you absolutely want to be very well versed in and talk to your healthcare provider immediately if you're experiencing any sharp pains, pancreatitis, appendicitis. If you have a family thyroid cancer, it's a family genetic one. Talk to your doctor or your healthcare provider about those. But the most common side effects are gastrointestinal, diarrhea, constipation, nausea. I welcome those now. You know why? Because it helps aid in my weight loss. When I am feeling nauseous, I don't eat as much. That's why I say I welcome this, because I'm like, oh, I know I'm going to lose weight this week. When I'm having diarrhea or things like I know that I'm not going to eat as much. That I'm going to lose weight with that, right? And so with that, I want to encourage you. For me, is I immediately, when I first started taking Mounjaro, I bought Element Electrolytes because they have in there magnesium, potassium, and sodium. I absolutely love these because it helps for my body with my Mounjaro side effects greatly. I've tested on my body over the last 14 months on the day before shot day, and the day after of taking Element Electrolytes and not taking Element Electrolytes. And it did not fare well for me on the days that I did not take Element Electrolytes. It has been very, very helpful. Now they do have, for hot drinks, you can put them in their chocolate mixes. It's chocolate chai, chocolate mint, chocolate raspberry, no sugar added. Those are, I love putting it in my coffee. The chocolate chai is my favorite. My favorite for cold drinks is what I typically do is get a 40-ounce tumbler. I'll link these down in the description link below, as is all my resources too, by the way. 40 ounces of water, I'll put the stick in. If it's too salty, add more water. If it's not flavorful enough, decrease the water. You can mix and match. But for me, I will put it in a 40-ounce tumbler. I'll put it first in a carafe, shake it around. There's no dyes, food coloring, anything like that. And I also had really severe leg cramps when I first started Mounjaro. This was so beneficial, in addition to the gastrointestinal things for me. And that's why I always encourage people. I love Element because there's no sugar added, right? Like keeping my A1C right and tight and not having these spikes. Very important for me not to have the sugar added, but it still tastes good. But I had realized I had been drinking like a blue electrolyte drink, and I'm like, what am I doing with these dyes? No. So my kid actually has these too. My son loves to play sports, and so before his sporting events and after, he loves the watermelon Element Electrolytes. They're delicious, and I like them because it's easy. I travel for work. I just pack one in my pocketbook, and then just dump it at the stick into my water and shake it, or a water bottle and shake it. Element has been very gracious to give us 8 free sticks with any purchase today. When you go to drinklmnt.com, that's drinklmnt.com/queen, and you can get 8 free sticks with any purchase. I am obsessed. And I buy, by the way, people ask me all the time because I love talking about stuff for Mounjaro. I only buy directly from companies for my, like for Element. I will not buy anywhere else besides that website link. I will get it directly from the company. Plus, I want the free discount. Plus, I want that too. So they do have a ton of other flavors. It's raspberry salt's not your jam. They do have a ton of other flavors. But tip number 3 for Mounjaro help you lose weight of how does Mounjaro help you lose weight? For me, it's the side effects actually do help me lose weight. It's kind of, at the beginning, it was a curse, and now it's a blessing. Now I love them, and now I've learned how to harness it for my own benefit, which is why I encourage tracking with your side effects. And I do have a free side effect tracker in the description link below. By having, next tip number 4 is feeling fuller longer, which we talked about, but this is what full feels like. But more importantly, riffing off of that, for my tip number 4 is it pauses my brain to give me a second when feeling that fullness feeling of like, okay, let me my brain catch up to my body. And if you're, for Zepbound weight loss and for Mounjaro weight loss, having that pause, that momentary pause, has been so instrumental for me in losing weight. It's the gift of time, just to kind of stop it for a second and not to be like, I need to eat something. Having that pause in my brain is helping me to make better choices and healing choices. What's the next loving choice? What's the next best choice that's going to correspond with my healthful goals? Because friends, Eli Lilly tells us in the literature, we need to do 2 things. We need to make, they're encouraging us. We don't need to do anything, to be honest, but encouraging us that we need to make healthy lifestyle changes with our food and with physical activity. And the way that has worked well for me to make these permanent changes is by having that pause in my brain, which is tip number 4, using it to your advantage, which is why having my Element Electrolytes, taking a sip of water, having something else to grab for besides food has been so helpful. Particularly in my first months of taking Mounjaro 2.5 milligrams and Mounjaro 5 milligrams. Now I'm at Mounjaro 15 milligrams, the highest dose. I still use my foundational tools in my toolbox, my proverbial toolbox. But I was such a crutch for me at the beginning. It's still now obviously incredibly important, but because I've trained my brain to take that pause and then use it to my advantage. Tip number 5 is because I'm having much smaller portions, my quality of food has increased. And I believe maybe not obviously, but for me, the quality of food increasing has led to weight loss. I'm making better choices as opposed to just junky food. You know what I mean? Like just not garbage food. Because my portions are smaller, I want those portions to taste really good, to be of high quality, to be prepared well, making more thought into going into that of what I'm putting in my body, and that has corresponded for more weight loss for me. Obviously, smaller portions, would usually correspond to less calories in and less, food in there, meaning less weight loss. But the increase of quality of food, I had not really anticipated that would be one of my shifts of how do you lose weight on Mounjaro, is increasing the quality of food. But it's been really cool. I live here in rural Virginia, and so buying from local farmers and local, it's been really, really cool to be able to do that because I care. Tip number 6, because I've been eating better, right? I have more energy, and I have more energy to work out, and I have more energy to lift. I'm physically able to do more things. I took my son, flew literally across the country to San Francisco, and we were on the cusp of tenderloin. If you saw the Keith Lee video, like being able to be physically active in these moments, I needed to be physically active. I took him on an all-day fishing trip. We were going up and down the hills of San Francisco, like mind-blowing things. Somebody who was morbidly obese doing these things, I would not have had the energy to do that, but it was because I had worked out, and now I walk consistently 2 to 3 miles per day. I haven't gotten my walk in for today, but I'm going to. It's a pause in the rain, so I'm going to go walk Mr. Freddie, my dog. He's usually my co-host, but he's taking, if you guys are the OGs know Mr. Freddie, he's taking a little pause here for now. Increasing my energy to go work out and lift weights to help prevent that muscle loss, but also walking more. Super, super helpful for me. Tip number 7 for me of how does Mounjaro help to lose weight is decrease the cravings on sugar and unhealthy choices, right? Because I'm having smaller portions, I am more selective of my food choices, as I've already mentioned. But with that, it's decreased the sugar intake. I know if I can only have this much, I'm not going to have this much sugar. Like that's going to whack out my A1C, like my blood, it's going to not be good for my body with my blood sugars and for the weight loss journey too. So being super, super mindful of that, of decreasing those sugar cravings has been instrumental, like instrumental. And because sugar begets sugar, right? Like we know that, or maybe we don't know that, but for my body, I know that. I know that from my bows to my toes, like it's instrumental of like not allowing that sugar in, but significantly less. And I have a bonus tip for you. I said I was gonna do 7 tips, but we're actually gonna do a bonus tip number 8, is that my results came quickly, so therefore I continued to do it. Because I had evidence that this worked on my body. I lost 11 pounds the first week. I talked about it in other videos. Please don't aspire to that. There's a lot of reasons why I lost 11 pounds in 1 week. For me, a healthy cadence rhythm of 1 to 2 pounds per week is very healthy and normal. But because I got results quickly, and take the 11 pounds off the table, if I had lost just 1 or 2 pounds in 1 week, I would have been like, yay! But because I had results quickly within the first couple of months, it gave me evidence to keep doing healthful things. And usually for me, my pattern, I've been doing this for 14 months. Oops, that's not the one I wanted to click. Hold on, we'll click this one. I've been doing this for 14 months. I've kept doing this for 14 months because I have evidence that it works. And for me, I had stopped doing, if some of you guys are OG people, I had been doing keto. I still do low carb, but I don't do keto anymore. But like doing things for 2 to 3 weeks and then stopping, and then 2 to 3 weeks and then stopping. There really hasn't been a pause on it. I had periods during the holiday season. This was my first Christmas and Thanksgiving and going through like the holidays with it. It was amazing. I enjoyed my food. I enjoyed the holidays, but I did not gain weight. It was crazy. I told my husband I actually lost weight during the holidays. I'm like, this is never in my life. Usually I gain 10 to 15 pounds. I know. 2 Christmases ago, I gained 15 pounds. which is one of the reasons why I lost 11 pounds my first week, because I was coming off the tail end of the Christmas holiday and like the holidays and New Year's and but being able to sustain this because I had evidence that it works. And because I had results, I kept doing it. And the evidence is built. It's like that. I'm an economist daughter, so I love Warren Buffett. So the power of compounding interest, that compounding of evidence leading to better and better results. Oh my goodness. So incredibly amazing. Now, I do want to make sure you guys run down below to go ahead and get your Element electrolytes. I am obsessed with them. They've been so helpful and instrumental with my Mounjaro side effects. And in my free Mounjaro weight loss encouragement group, which I'll link down below, and on countessofshopping.com, I talk a lot about how helpful this has been for my sleep and for working out and for my muscle cramps and for gastrointestinal issues. And it's made a major, major difference for me. And I love the way that it makes me feel. I mean, I love drinking them. And they keep me fuller longer. It helps get me from, for example, I'm filming this right now at 12 o'clock. I had my Element this morning. I won't have lunch probably until about 1:30 because I had some Element, and I don't know, it really does, because of the potassium, magnesium, and sodium helps. So my sweet friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Make sure you click that like and subscribe button, and it's such a blessing and a gift to be here with you guys. I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Have a great day, friends. Bye, guys.